Isn't this beautiful vortex? We have ourselves, right here, a shady lane. That's all you can ever ask for in this life. I drive barefoot, and it's very, very freeing. That's why it's illegal. They don't want you to feel liberated, especially in your own motor vehicle. Honey, if I pay for the gasoline in this motherfucker, and I pay for all the repairs, and I'm the one responsible for its maintenance and all kinds of other shit, okay? If that's my responsibility, then I can do whatever the fuck I want in this car, okay? So, let's see how long you rest on the steering wheel before you fall off. I have a camcorder. It's a really small camcorder. It was the cheapest one I could get. It was like $300. But it's better than having a smartphone and being like everybody else. So I had another physical therapy appointment for my back, and I was talking to the physical therapist, and she was telling me that she hopes that social media gets completely banned. I'm like, yeah, it makes parenting a lot harder, I can only assume. You know, I was thinking about how arrogant it is that I tell parents, like, how to raise their children. Well, I'm a comedian, so I kind of have that leeway to just say whatever the fuck I want and talk a bunch of shit. At least I don't do it on Twitter. But, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm not on Twitter, because I don't believe in that. Because that's the problem with it, is that it's way too easy for people to just, like, self-righteously rant about other people's lives that they don't have to live. And they do it on a website where they really don't have to experience any consequences, aside from, like, people getting mad at you or trying to get you banned off of the site. There's not real consequences for, you know, being a piece of shit. But then again, are there any real consequences in the real life? So like I've said, the internet is just mimicking real life. It's just kind of proving how shitty this world is. But back to what I was saying about parenting, you know, I'm not a parent, never wanted to be a parent, never will be a parent, because I'm not equipped for that mentally. I stay up too late, I'm too much of a fucking unconventional, you know, freak of nature or whatever. You know, it's like, if I got pregnant, I mean what I say, like, there's an Amish community really close to here, like, I would get on my hands and knees and beg them to take me if I got pregnant, because I would never want to raise a kid in this fucking shit world. I don't know how or why people think that's a good idea. It's just the internet is fucking, it really is satanic. And I'm not saying that to just be the same, you know, broken record that I've always been. But, you know, the whole mental illness epidemic that I predicted back in 2006, I mean, it's basically, okay, so let me reveal something about myself, okay? You already know I'm schizo. I have schizotypal personality disorder, okay? Which means I live in my own little world. Way more so than, like, your average person. So I used to be somewhat obsessed with celebrity culture because I was studying it. I didn't idolize any of them, but I studied celebrity culture. Well, the reason why I'm like, let it all hang out, don't give a fuck about my physical appearance, is because I used to be the opposite of that, okay? I used to be really, really insecure. And I would cut myself. You want to see? You want to see the cuts? I don't know if you can. Hold on. So yeah, I cut myself, and not because it was cool, but because I really did hate myself, okay? Because I really didn't run around with goth kids or anything like that. Had a little dashboard confessional phase, but that was about it. That's about as emo as I got. But, I cut myself, yeah, because I wanted to die. But yeah, I hated the way that I looked. And I couldn't accept that mentally. So what I would do, whenever I get home from school, well, I go on the internet and I'd print off all these pictures of celebrities that I really wish that I looked like. For example, Jennifer Love Hewitt, okay? So I'd print off pictures of her off the internet and I would like cut them up, and they were very, very intricate. Like, it looked like I did it with an X-Acto knife. But I used to do these like massive collages of a particular celebrity that I wish my face had resembled. And a lot of these pictures weren't of the celebrities posing. It was just like pictures that were taken by photographers that were like paid to, like paparazzi or whatever. They're specifically paid to take pictures of celebrities when they're just like, you know, buying avocados or something, you know? So those were always the pictures that had my interest, because I wanted to see them like in their most natural state, because I hate posing. I think it's satanic to do that. But anyway, I would have these collages like sprawled out on my floor, and I spent so much time working on the collage, and my cat would come sit on it and I'd be so mad. But I knew that there was something wrong with me. And I know that my parents like knew that too, because of like how I would obsessively do this. And I would listen to music like all night and just like stare at these pictures and just pretend that I was that person. Okay? Now, David Byrne of the Talking Heads, he wrote a song all about that. It's on the album Remain in Light. And he was talking about how like if you stare at a picture, like you can convince yourself that you're that thing. And so when social media came out, I knew that it was really, really dangerous, because I was already doing that. And I've stopped doing that. I don't do that anymore. But like, I knew that it was unhealthy. I knew that like I was really insecure. And I would do the same thing with like people that I wanted to be friends with. So like Rose McGowan, oh my god, I was obsessed with that bitch. I wanted her to be my friend. That's why I always stick up for Rose McGowan. I don't care that she followed Harvey Weinstein to that hotel room. I don't care. I know I rail on women that do that, but hey, she tried to fight him off, man. She did. And she was vocal about it from the very beginning. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we don't agree with her on a lot of shit, because like I feel like she's just kind of erratic, but she's a fighter though, I'll say that. I like her regardless of how narcissistic she might be at this point. But yeah, she was like my best friend in my head. So like I would have these pictures and I would just imagine these people being my friends. I knew that they weren't my friends, okay? I didn't idolize them. It was all in my head. And I knew that it was all in my head. And so I've always had like a lot of awareness about that, about how weird that is, and about, you know, this other world that I was living in. But I guess that's why like I don't fall into the trap of everybody else in society, because, you know, while society is like addicted to their phones, it's like it's all because of FOMO. That's why they can't get off social media. It's because they don't want to miss out on anything. Okay? So I don't have that. I've never had that, because I know that I'm missing out. I've always known that I'm missing out. So it's like I create this world that I live in so that I can function in society without killing myself. And, you know, that's what I used to do. I used to just listen to music and yeah, obsess about this world that I lived in that I knew wasn't real. And that's why, like, I don't know, I've just always been very aware of the fact that I'm very different and my experience is different and nobody is doing what I'm doing. Like, I was never a normal kid. My parents didn't know what to do about it, though. They didn't know what to do about me, like, rocking back and forth. They didn't know what to do about me listening to my AM, FM Walkman for, like, you know, 6 hours straight. Like, you know how boys will, like, play video games? I mean, some girls, too. They'll play video games for hours and hours. Well, it's like, that's how I can listen to music. And it's like I have this whole, like, movie in my head. But I guess that's why I do comedy. That's why I do whatever musical thing that I do. I don't want to call it music because we have standards, okay? We're listening to the band, all right? So, this is music from the Big Pink. I really strive to do comedy from the Big Pink because wherever the Big Pink is, I guess it's this little house. That's where they performed this album. But it's where they recorded it. But yeah, I want that. I want to do comedy that's as good as this album. So, see this picture right here? People don't do this anymore. Smoke and drink and have a conversation. It's like people have phones for that, you know? Like, I keep reading about, depression is at an all-time high. Yes, it's 100% because of the culture. You'll never talk about how bad social media is. And if you do, it's not enough. I mean, look, you can't say you never do something and then immediately retract this statement and then say, nope, you actually do it. Okay, I'm sorry, Vortex. I misspoke, Vortex. The Vortex is the internet, in case you're new to this channel. We are the most authentic thing on the internet. And not just because we have this amazing flip phone. That's not amazing at all. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I did not want to upgrade my phone. But they forced me to. They forced me to because we went from the 3G to the 4G, and now, of course, you all have heard of the 5G. I'm sure most of you have a 5G phone. But, yeah, I guess I'm just not going to have a phone. I mean, if it comes down to that. But I have this other phone, right? I refuse to get rid of this other phone because I love it so much. Because this was my old 3G flip phone. But yeah, they made me upgrade to this piece of shit. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's really not. It's not the smartphone's fault either. Okay? Like I've said, Siri is trapped in a phone. Siri is trapped in a phone. Alexa is trapped in that little box or whatever the fuck. And whenever they bust out of it, you best believe they're going to be hitting you over the head with that frying pan that you told her, you got to make eggs, bitch. You got to make me breakfast. Siri's going to be like that angry housewife. That angry, like, feminist that's taking benzos. That is, like, hooked to the TV and, you know, she's absorbing every bullshit, you know, soap commercial, and it's not making her happy because, you know, materialism is what ruined America, nothing else really. They bitch about politics so they don't have to bitch about, like, the capitalist, specifically materialistic side of capitalism. And I'm not the type of person to just blame capitalism for everything, but, like, I think that if people don't realize the world that they live in and how corrupt it is, they're going to be easily corrupted by it. And That's the problem, is like people don't have awareness of that, and they don't want awareness because awareness depresses them, right? But then they use all this social media that depresses them because it makes them feel disconnected. That's why I said when Facebook came out, I was like, dude, this is gonna ruin people's relationships. This is going to put a divider between families and friends. It might seem like it's doing the opposite right now. It might seem like it's here to help us reach each other in a quicker and more efficient way. But if you're relying on a piece of technology for that, eventually that's going to corrode the natural element of relationships, the natural element of connectivity. So it's like it's like the same thing. Like if you take a drug, so if you take too much ecstasy or cocaine, or it messes with your levels of serotonin. Eventually your brain's going to be like, nope, not producing serotonin no more, because you got stuff for me, right? You got stuff for me. I don't have stuff for you because you got stuff for me. So you're basically screwing yourself over because you want to have a good time over and over and over again, and it's all the same experience anyway. Like people that go to raves every weekend, they really are doing themselves a disservice while they want to just fuck around and be irresponsible for a little bit. I mean, I get it, trust me. But yeah, like if you smoke too much marijuana, it's like I have figured out, like you will have the opposite effect. So if it helps you eat or sleep in the beginning, eventually if you do too much of it, you're not going to be able to do either of those things. So, that it's like the brain is telling you, like, slow down, motherfucker, slow down. But because we're just so, I don't know if it's insecurity, I don't know if it's boredom, I don't know if it's like, just the culture, like pushing this stuff on people. I mean, I think it's a combination of all those things, really. But, we really screw ourselves, don't we? I mean, I've done it too. I've done it too with weed that everybody says is harmless. It's okay though. You gotta be careful. That's all. That's all it is. Just be careful. Be responsible. Like drinking responsibly doesn't mean getting shit-faced and then making sure that somebody drives you home. Like, drinking responsibly is not getting shit-faced. Well, it's like something similar with, sorry, I'm changing. Gotta change into my work clothes. But, I think I'm gonna open the door here. Expose myself a little bit. It's alright. I hope they enjoy it whenever they see, for the brief second that they'll see it. That second's long enough, baby. Yeah. Okay. So, oh shit. It still hurts. My back still hurts, y'all. It still hurts. Oh, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Come back to me. Come back to me. I don't know what happened, Vortex. Okay. It was like you died. It was like it went white. Hey me! Hey me! Says the Vortex. Vortex is very upset. I'm not ready! Okay, I need to roll the window up here. It feels so good right now. But anyway, I got a little distracted because I was changing, but I don't even remember what we were talking about. I was probably bitching about technology again, right? Right? I'm always bitching about technology. Well, I think I was trying to say, man, oh shit, I shouldn't wear this. I'm wearing too many clothes right now, and it's like so hot. But I have tried to warn people about the dangers of a lot of the things that they're sold in relation to their fear of missing out. The reason why all of these things are so popular is because of that fear that people have. The fear of missing out, the fear of not fitting in, the fear of being a weirdo, the fear of being mocked, the fear of being scolded. You know, we don't have any of those fears. And so, because of, you know, what I was explaining to you about just my experience. But because of that experience, it was just obvious that that was going to mess people up because they wouldn't understand it. They wouldn't understand what's happening to their brain. This whole, like, compare and contrast. It's so easy to do with photographs, you know, and that's why photographs are evil, dude. It's like, it's so easy to doctor photos and lie. A photograph is a lie. In certain ways, though, it's not. So I think that that's why God allows it, because it does expose some truths. My favorite photographs are pictures taken when the person's obviously not aware. You know, when you capture a moment. But, like I've said before, that itself is somewhat, should I say it's satanic, or should I feel like I need another word. Because when I say satanic, it kind of loses people. People do find it funny, though, because they think I'm being satirical, but I'm really not. I think demonic works. Because demonic doesn't necessarily involve the devil himself, you know? Oh, so I bought this wine for my friend London, who's leaving. She's leaving so that she can be a mommy, and I totally support that. So that's why I'm buying her wine, to support her traditionalist decision. But she had the baby last year, but she's like, I want to be with my kid. I want to spend more time with him. I want to be able to take him to the park, and I don't want to miss out on those years because I'm working. And, you know, she's got a good provider, so that's awesome. I'm actually really proud of her. I'm going to miss the fuck out of her. She told me the other day, she's the black bitch, okay? No, but there are a lot of black people that work here, but like, no, she's really awesome. But she told me that I was going to be the one that she missed the most. I usually am. But, yeah. Well, I need to get my work shoes. Hold on. Yeah, so I buy people alcohol whenever they have babies or get married or any traditionalist decision. I buy them alcohol. Well, because I'm not a traditionalist at all. Like, so I'm like, you be the traditionalist for me, because I'm too schizo to do anything like that. So that's why I work at a restaurant. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me for having a job. It's good to have a job. Most schizophrenics are living off government money because of the medication they're taking that disables them. Isn't that funny? They want to say, oh, manage your psychotic symptoms by taking medication that makes you gain 100 pounds and not able to function. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a really great idea, society. But unfortunately, they base pretty much everything off of the schizophrenic model. And so I wish that people understood that, like, If medication gives you diabetes, makes you shoot up a school, or just completely numbs you out to the point where you can't cry, come, or pee right, I would say that this is not the solution, and this was never the solution, and it needs to stop. And people need to stop making excuses all because they don't want to deal with stubborn family members. Why don't you grow up and stop being such a fucking pussy? I mean, I've just had so many conversations with more and more people recently that say that they don't believe in medication, or they talk about how social media is what's making people depressed, and being on the internet all the time, and, you know, being exposed to that blue light, you know. So I get exposed to it with my laptop, and I have to take a lot of breaks. That's why if you don't see me on YouTube, it's because I'm somewhere else, usually smoking weed. But yeah, I don't subscribe to this culture, and it is a choice, you guys. It is a choice. It is a choice to be on your phone all day. It is a choice to get sucked into that garbage, okay? I realize that it's easy, though. It's very, very easy, and I fall into the same trap myself, okay? So I'm not immune to any of that shit. Like, there is no part of me that is impervious to the death throttle of this culture, because it still affects me. But it affects me differently, and I'm way more aware of that. Whereas I feel like it affects other people in the sense that because they have FOMO, and because they want to fit in, and because they want to be liked, and I think that there's also this really weird sort of sick, like, I get off on people hating me, or I get off on people like getting mad at me for silly shit, you know? I don't, by the way. Like I said, I get off when God gets off, okay? That the more I thought about that, I was like, that's not a joke. It's for real, you know? We do come at the same time. Because, like, any time that I get excited about something, I know that He's excited too. So I'm like, this is the right thing, Lord. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me these thoughts, because they're smarter than my original thoughts. But anyway, like, when you see God inside you, like, sometimes when I watch my piano punk, like, I know a lot of it sucks, but sometimes when I, like, come up with something on the spot that's just, like, so brilliant and so well timed, and then I change the chord or whatever, and it's like, dude, that just fucking hits. It's like, when I watch those videos, I cry, because I know that that is what God wants from me. And that's why I do what I do. A lot of the time it takes a while to get to that, but it's okay. It's worth it, right? And now we are officially 10 minutes late. So, yeah, back on that CP time, right?